Hello friends, welcome to Auto Robo Innovations. Today in this video we are going to discuss about tag table. We will see how to make PLC tag table in TIA Portal version 80. So let's start. I will open TIA Portal. So I will create new project and I will keep project name as PLC Tag Table. After that, I have to configure the device. So I will add new device. And then here is a list of different controllers. So I will be using SIMTAC S7 1200. I'll click on it and then CPU and 1212 AC-DC relay. Yes. And this one. I will keep version here as 4.6. And then I will click on add. So we have added a device. So this is the interface of TI portal. I will minimize these other windows and then here there is an option of PLC tags. I will click on this and then I will click on default tag table. I will double click on it. And then here is the PLC tag table. So here we will make a list of different elements which we'll be using in TI portal in the ladder diagram. So they may be some inputs and outputs. So outputs will be used as coils, outputs, and the inputs will be used either as normally open contacts or normally closed contacts. So they will be Boolean. The data type will be Boolean. And we will simply assign addresses to these normally open contacts, normally closed contacts, and coils in this table. So here, if I name the first input as switch 1 and then I will keep data type as boolean and the address is I 0.0. So this switch 1 is an input. So that's why the address is I 0.0. So this switch 1 is an input. So the address will be I. So I is for input and 0.0. So then I have one more input that is switch 2. Either I will type it as switch 2 or I will simply click on switch 1 and then I will click on it and then drag it like this. Then there will be switch 2 automatically fetched. So it will be boolean and the address will be I 0.1. If there is another switch and I will name it as switch 3 simply. So I have for example 3 inputs and I will add one more input, say sensor. So this sensor will be digital. So the data type will be boolean and address will be I 0.3. And then I will be having some outputs, some actuators like motor 1. And then I have one more. So this motor 1 is an output. So the address should be Q should be Q because it is an output. And then the bit number will be 0. So the address of this motor 1 will be Q 0.0. And I may have one more actuator, and that will be motor 2. So I will simply drag it like this. Motor 2. And I have one more actuator output as pump. And that will be again Boolean, and address will be Q 0.2. We can simply edit the address. So I don't want the address of pump as Q 0.2. I can simply change it like this, Q 0.3. And I have one more actuator, for example LED 1, and that will be again Boolean, and the address will be automatically fetched in the sequence 0, 1, and I will take one more LED here, that will be LED 2, and I want the address of LED 2 as Q 0.2. So I will simply change the bit number as 3 and Q 0.2. So LED 2 will be Q 0.2. And then we will simply minimize it and go to program blocks and then main OB. So here we will draw ladder diagram and use those normally open contacts and normally closed contacts and the coils for the output, which we have already mentioned in that PLC tag table. So simply I will use a normally open contact and then I will connect it in parallel, for example, and then I will use those tags here. So the first one is switch 1, I will click on it and then I will click on this option, and there will be a drop down list of those inputs and outputs which we have already mentioned in the PLC tag table. We can simply select the desired input or the output. So this is a normally open contact and it will be used for output as well. So here we will use it as input. Let's say sensor. And then I will insert a coil here. And I will click on this and then click here. And I will keep it as LED 1. And then I will click on it and select it as switch 3. So here we have simply chosen the desired inputs and outputs from a list which we have already made, which we have already mentioned in the PLC table. So in this way, this LED 1 will glow or will be on when one of these inputs will be on. If sensor gets activated, LED 1 will be on, or when switch 3 gets on, LED 1 gets on. It was all about how PLC table is filled and used in PLC ladder diagram. Thank you for watching.